What's going on, and welcome back to my channel. I am so beyond happy with how my modern take on Sally turned out, and I was thinking, just in case I decide to wear this for Halloween this year, I wanted a little something extra to go along with it, and of course it is the floating zero. So I started doing a ton of research on how I could make this floating zero, because how adorable is he? Like, I don't know if you guys have looked on Pinterest and found pictures of him either as a decoration or as an actual floating zero. I love it. I love it so much, and I want one for myself, whether I'm going to use it as an actual prop or I'm going to use it as decoration, which I probably won't. I always worry like somebody's gonna steal that outside of the yard. I stumbled across a company that already has everything done for you. All you have to do is put it together. And I was like, okay, nice. So I definitely wanted to do the easier route, being that I have been crazy busy because I've been watching my mom's new puppy, and she's only 6 weeks old. We just got her from the pound, and I'm exhausted because I haven't been getting any sleep, and so that's where I'm at right now. So this is the little puppy that I have been babysitting for my mom. She's out of town for 2 weeks, and we are in week 1 with her. Isn't she adorable? Her name is Lilith May. We call her Lily. She is very little, very whiny, but she's such a sweetheart. I'm trying not to get attached. This is my mom's dog. She's so cute though. Okay, so this is the reason why I'm not getting any sleep. Yes, you. Okay, let's get back to everything. I found this website that actually creates the foam pieces for you and kind of puts everything together that you need. They tell you on the website what it's going to come with. It's literally just EVA foam pieces of the zero head already cut out for you and measured and all of that good stuff, along with his collar. I believe this one's the collar. I can't remember what that is. It comes with the ears. They also send you with some batteries for the nose, which I love because this is the little pumpkin nose and it should be able to light up when you're done. And they also have a YouTube video for you that gives you detailed instructions on how to put it together. And my hope is that I can figure this out, being that I'm kind of still a beginner when it comes to EVA foam. I've done a little bit here and there, obviously with my masks and whatnot, but I'm definitely a novice. They do tell you this. They don't provide any material, and I have white material for its body. I have wiring for the body as well, and they say you need that. And they also stated that you need something red that's going to go around its collar, which I'm pretty sure I can find something red. If not, I know I have something red in my thrift up box. So I'm going to build this with you guys, and I'm going to watch their YouTube video and see how easy it is to follow, which hopefully it is super easy, and hopefully all of this is going to become a floating zero. Okay, so the first thing that they're telling me to do is that on these two pieces here, on the inside here, and on the inside here, I'm going to create like a beveled edge. And I'm also going to be doing a beveled edge on this one and this one. Okay, so I'm gonna do my best to bevel these edges just like he's doing in the video. He shows you one and then he speeds up for the rest of it. So I am going to do the same. Okay, so he made that look way easier than I was able to do it, but I did go ahead and do this one side very messily, if that's a word. That's not even a word! So now I'm supposed to do the other side, and then this one, and then the inside as well of all of these pieces, making sure that I keep it even. Beveling this side and beveling this side so that you have a right and a left. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay, so I beveled all of my edges just like they said, and he definitely made it look easier, and his were a lot cleaner than mine, but once I kind of got the hang of it, it definitely feels a lot better. I hope I did all the edges correctly. So he says he's gonna fast forward through the process, and he kind of, I mean, I guess I could slow it down and see exactly how he does the head, which if you're a beginner like me, then I recommend doing that because it was very fast, and he only shows this one and this. He doesn't show the others. So I'm gonna slow it down and see if I did mine right, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I slowed it down and it looks like I did it right. Now I'm supposed to take some sandpaper, and of course he has something like a sandpaper stick, he said, but I do not have that, so you can just use regular sandpaper, and then I'm just gonna go along the top and just lightly sandpaper this down until it's smooth. Okay, so I went ahead and I sanded down everything that they said I was supposed to sand down, and the reason you're supposed to sand it down is because when you glue it together, it will help it to stick better, because he says you don't have to do that, but that if you don't, it might not adhere as well as it would if it were sanded. So that's when I got to sanding, because I want it to stick really, really well. And so now I'm going to heat up the head, and my goal is to get it to be more rounded, just like his head in the movie. Can you kind of see how it's kind of taking shape? I usually like to do this until it cools down in my hand, because sometimes if you let go too soon, I notice that EVA foam will kind of go back to where it was before, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, so now both of my pieces have nice rounded edges just like he said, and I'm also supposed to do that for the bottom jaw, which these pieces are the jaw. Okay, so now all my pieces are kind of curved. They have like a nice little curve to them, and these as well. And so the next thing I'm supposed to do is glue with my hot glue. Sorry, not the hot glue. You will need hot glue for this, but you won't need that till the end. You're going to need your contact cement for this part, and I'm just going to follow their instructions. I believe I'm just piecing all of these pieces together like this, the pieces that are cut apart. Here, here. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue all these pieces together. That's what the mask does to my face. So right now I'm just letting everything kind of dry, and I believe these are nice and dry, and you can speed up the process by using a blow dryer. That always helps. And then you're just supposed to push them together, and yeah, easy enough. So my 2 points don't match up. One is blunt and the other one is pointy. So I might, and again, I have not altered any of this. It came like this, and I might snip off. I don't know. There's going to be a pumpkin on the end, so my hope is that the pumpkin will cover any kind of blemishes. So he says to use tape on anything that is like not sticking as well together until your contact cement fully adheres or it fully cures. So my hope is that he is right, but otherwise it looks really good on the inside. It's just the outside looks a little wonky. But I love how he said to shape it first, because it does like already kind of have some shape to it. And then this is the under jaw piece, right? So I think it's supposed to be like this. So I'm gonna give this overnight to cure, and to make sure that it's nice and ready to go, I will resume this tomorrow, and hopefully I can untape it and it will be looking perfect. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Welcome back. It is the next day and I'm so ready to get this done. It is just already looking so cute. Anyway, so overnight everything sat with the tape on it, and taking it off, like starting to kind of take off the tape, it does look so much better. I'm really glad that I let it sit overnight, because like the seams at the top were starting to kind of come undone and it was making me nervous. But now it's looking much better. Thank goodness. Okay, so on to the next part. This piece right here, he wants it to be thinner. His is actually a little thinner than mine, but if you can see the top, or the tip of mine, it's uneven and it came like this. So this side came blunt and this side came pointy, and they don't really say anything like if it doesn't come even. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna kind of round this out and try to even it out. So I'll try that. That's what I'm gonna do. I've watched so many tutorials on how to Dremel too, and I still am just like horrible at it. Anyway, so his nose looks a little funky, but as you can see as well, like this side was smaller. Oh my gosh. This side is smaller than this side, and it just honestly came that way. So in this video, they give you an option to put the jaw on. So this is a jaw piece, and this is a jaw piece. So if you don't put it on, it will just remain hollow, like it will just kind of look like this. I think if I were just building this for fun, I would definitely leave the jaw off, just because it seems like a lot of work for just a costume. But since there's an option and I'm doing this for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and do the full tutorial, because I'm pretty sure that's what you want. Is for me to not take any shortcuts and to show you that I can build this thing from start to finish, and the entire thing just going off of their instructions, and hopefully this turns out amazing. So the next thing I'm supposed to do is do the same thing that I did to this part of the head where I made it thinner. I'm supposed to do it to this piece as well, which is the under jaw mouthpiece. So let's do that. So as I'm watching this video, I would love it if there was like words on his tutorial where it shows like which jaw piece is what. Like this is the lower jaw piece and this is the upper jaw piece. And the only reason I know that is because he throws them down on the table and you can see the size difference. But sometimes when they're like far apart from each other, they almost look the same size, so it's really difficult to know which one he's working with. But when he threw them directly side by side, you can see that this is the upper jaw piece and this is the lower jaw piece. So I'm supposed to do the same thing to the lower jaw piece. Okay, that part is done. Let's see what we're supposed to do next. Black was a bad idea to wear. So the next thing I'm supposed to do is kind of mold these things to the shape of the head. He did it by hand. And that way it should easily line up. This is gonna be like the trickiest part. I'm worried. And then the same thing for the bottom one, and the bottom one rounds up more is what he was saying. So this one is supposed to go up like that. Okay, so here is his nose, and then this kit does come with a little light switch. He says to go ahead and grab that. So now I'm supposed to put the light piece right here on his nose. I like this. And then tape it. And then he also drags it up his face and puts more tape up near his eyes. Okay, so now I'm allowed to start gluing. And he does fast forward through this, so I'm going to do my best to pay attention to what he's doing, maybe slow it down just a little bit, and then I'm gonna get this glued on. Yeah, here goes nothing. Okay, so the seams on the top of my head ripped apart, as well as the seams on the bottom. I don't blame them for this. I blame my contact cement. I can't tell you what it would have been like had I used Barge, but I definitely think Barge is a better contact cement. I'm so bummed that as I was putting the jaw on, which was working out perfectly, that the entire back piece was ripping open. I'm thinking if I messaged them and told them this, that they would give me some advice, but right now I just kind of re-put some cement in there, re-glued it back together, and hopefully this time it will stay. There are just no guarantees, but now I'm supposed to connect the head to the jaw. My hope is that when I plasti dip it and put some quick seal on it, that it will help it, because the caulk, the quick seal adhesive caulk, is also an adhesive. So my hope is that it will kind of create everything, or make everything kind of stick together just a little bit better. But here is the head so far with the jaw inside. And he does say that it is supposed to be in there. You don't have to put it in, but if you don't, that you have to figure out a way to hide the lighting that's supposed to go on the nose. Okay, so now that the head is completely glued together, I'm supposed to work on the ears. Okay, so this is the part where you're gonna need hot glue to be able to glue the ears the way you want them to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and sand all of the seams just like he did. I need to take off my tape first, and then my hot glue gun should be ready to go. I'm just terrible at the Dremel, but it did really smooth things out much better than it was looking before. If you know how to use a Dremel, let me know. Am I like doing it wrong? Am I supposed to go against or with, or I don't even know. If you have any clues, you know how to use this, give me some pointers down in the comments below, because I'm super curious. Okay, so now I have my glue gun, and I'm supposed to take the ears, and then I'm just gonna add glue into the holes that I created. And this is what your ear will look like when it's done, when everything is dried. And voila, I have an ear. Okay, I'm gonna do this to the other one, and then we can move forward. Okay, so now that the ears are shaped, you can see there's two sides that are pointier than the other two sides. I hope you can see that. Let's see if it'll zoom in on that. It really likes my face apparently. Okay, so the pointed tip parts are the top of the ears, and then this is where you're gonna connect the ears to the head. Okay, so I'm gonna glue the ears on. Okay, so I just dug through my thrifting pile, and I found an old t-shirt that I had already cut into before. And so I just used this as my red fabric to put around the collar, and now I'm supposed to work with the collar. And this piece actually comes in the kit. And so now I'm supposed to create a beveled edge, just like we did at the beginning. So I'm gonna glue the collar together, and then you'll attach it at the beveled edge. And it's, holy crap, this is ginormous. This can't be right. How big is this supposed to be? Okay, so here's mine. It's really, really big. Okay, well, there's no way this is attaching. So I'm going to watch his video, and then I might have no choice but to cut this down. Unless they have measurements on their website. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So I went to their website, and no, there's no dimensions for like how wide this is supposed to be. All they give is like the millimeter for the foam. His looks so much smaller. His almost looks like this size, and you can see how much is like overlapped. And then look like how much better it would fit on his body. I don't know, do I cut it down? And it does look like it's attaching a little bit easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it down. And I'm just gonna mark about where I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna glue this piece onto it. Okay, here's hoping I'm not messing up. Okay, so I went ahead and I cut it down. I cut about this much off of each side. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the piece of fabric, make sure that the wrong side touches the collar, and then I'm supposed to go right up to the edge of the beveled side. The rest can be covered. I watched how he did the collar and I slowed it down as slow as YouTube will go, and it was still crazy fast. So, I mean, take a look. It was a bit confusing. It was still fast even while it was slowed down. But I think I have it. So I'm gonna do the same thing he does. I'm just gonna hold this a little bit longer and hope that it sticks a little bit better. Okay, so his looks much neater than mine because I don't know. I don't know how it got dirty, but like, it's dirty. Okay, so now it's time to use the quick seal, and he just goes over all of his seams with the quick seal, and it looks like he just uses very little on his fingers, and then he just goes over all of the seams. So I'm gonna do that to all the seams. And now it just needs to dry, but look how much better it looks after putting that on. Like, it is a total difference. So I have to let this dry though, because it is very wet and tacky. So I'm gonna let this dry. I'm going to plasti dip it, and then hopefully it looks amazing. I'll see you guys tomorrow and we will finish this floating zero head. I'm so excited. It's looking cute already though. Huh. Okay, so it's the next day and I went ahead and I primed him about 4 times, I want to say. Okay, so he says while his zero is drying that the next thing you want to do is go ahead and cut out well, he takes like a large piece of white material, and he says he measured about 25 in width and 28 inches in length. So I went ahead and I cut out a piece of material, white material that is already 25 by 28, and then I'm going to freehand it as well, just like he did, and then we can get the wiring put in. So I went ahead and I finished the body. As you can see, I'm not as strong with wiring as others are. I'm kind of weak with it, but I was supposed to twist the ends or whatever, and I did the best I could. Okay, so I have my zero head, and it looks like the next part we're going to do is to attach the collar onto his head. And I'm actually glad that I took that in and made it smaller, because it does look more like his. In fact, his looks even smaller than this one, but it's gonna look so much nicer, I think. Okay, so the next step is to deal with the wiring. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull all his wiring out, and then from the front where it was sticking out just a little bit, I'm going to pull this out his nose. Then you can pop the batteries inside and reclose it, and it snaps closed. They're working. Yay! Okay, so you're supposed to pull this all the way through as much as you can until this is just in the head part. And then this piece is supposed to fit onto your nose. I might have to trim my nose down. once the nose is on and it feels pretty secure, he says to take your finger and start to wrap the lighting around your finger, not super tight to where you can't get it off your finger. Then shove it up inside the pumpkin head. It's so cute. It's crooked. Oh my god. The nose is all sorts of crooked, but I don't know what happened when I was making it. It just was crooked. But there it is. Yeah. Now, for the next part. Okay, so here is the leash, and then of course you can give it some like personality and bend it because the wiring is in it now. And then this area right here where it's sticking out is supposed to attach to the body. And as he said when we made this, you were supposed to leave a bit sticking out. And so that's what this is supposed to attach to. Okay, so if you are a weakling like me, get somebody to help you with this part because it is not as easy as I would have liked. I feel like that is fairly twisted. His is like super tight. It's like really nice, but mine is a hot mess. I'm gonna twist it up a little bit because it's now supposed to go into its head. But I have a lot of wiring sticking out of mine. So I'm gonna try to trim some of this wiring down because I think I might have too much, but I'm gonna finish what he's doing and then I'll let you know. Okay, so in the head, I'm supposed to create like a square, cut like a square in there. So he's using, I can't really tell what kind of tool he's using, but I'm gonna use like little teeny tiny scissors, and it does look like it's a big enough hole. So it's not just a tiny hole, he cuts like a big enough hole to be able to fit all the wiring through. So let's do that. Okay, so I shortened my wiring. It was a pain, and I am so weak when it comes to wiring. So after that, after you get all of this done and you cut the hole in his head, you can go ahead and shape the body, and he shapes his kind of like this, where his body's going down. Doesn't really show how he put the head in. It literally just like skips to the part where he's fixing the eyes. So my thought is to go in like this and attach it. But let's get this baby in there. And I mean, I could probably try to get it to hook all the way through, but I'm like scared to break it at this point. So I'm just gonna leave it. It kind of went through a little bit, so I feel like that's good. Okay, so the next thing I'm supposed to do, and this piece does come with the kit, and this is the piece that's supposed to cover the eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert this in, and this is basically how he does it. Okay, so he does detach this to be able to do this because I guess it's easier. So you're supposed to push this all the way in. Okay, so I think that's as good as it's going to get, but the eyes are blackened out. I definitely wish I would have put this in here at the beginning and then I could have taped that down because it's kind of just floating in there, but that's how they did it. And I recommend if you get one of these kits to put that in at the beginning and then tape the wiring over it and just go from there. Don't do it at the last minute because holy crap, that was a pain in my... Okay. And it's done. He's a floating zero. That works. Okay, so are you guys ready to see him walking and in action?
Yes! Hell yeah! Ah!
Okay, so here is my review on my GiveWaveStudios DIY kit for the Floating Zero. And thank you, Zero, for lighting the way to save Christmas. So as for the DIY kit, I am so glad that this is even out there because I did not want to have to, you know, create out of foil this head and then figure out the pattern and all of that good stuff. So I definitely love the fact that this even exists because this head is perfect. I think, you know, I was a little bummed that some of my pieces were not symmetrical, and I think if it would have come with an instruction kit, it wouldn't have been a problem. Like if the instructions would have said, hey, if it's not symmetrical, don't panic, just shave it down or trim it or whatever, or this is what to do if that happens. Because there was nothing and it said nothing and it says nothing in the video, I did kind of panic about that. But now that it's together, I can see that I didn't need to panic. And I did have to figure it out on my own though, so that kind of sucked. And I also thought the DIY kit could have included this black nylon piece. I mean, it cost me like $15 to get it from Joann's, and it comes with a bunch of it, and I honestly don't even need that much, and I don't think I'll use it again. So I do think two 30-inch strips of black nylon could have been included in this kit, especially since I'm providing the wiring and the white material and the red material for the collar. But that is just me as far as thinking this could have been included. Otherwise, like, I'm not mad because again, it's only $34, which is the new $14. So as far as the video is concerned, I definitely feel like it was sped up way too much. And it was so sped up, like, I mean, super zoomy to the point that when I slowed it down, I still struggled to see what was happening. As well as some of the video, he was doing things like off screen, thinking that he was on screen. So that was a huge disappointment. Thank goodness I was able to figure it out though, regardless of him being off screen or anything like that. I also think that in the video, the eyes should be done way before the end. Do I recommend getting this from GiveWaveStudios? 100% yes, because I'm a novice when it comes to EVA foam, which is why I had the trepidation and why I have my review right now as far as the speed up part and the fact that there was no instructions with me panicking about things being uneven. But now that I've made it, still being a novice, I am like beyond happy with how it turned out. And I do think that it's doable. Even if you don't really know a lot about EVA foam, it's doable by watching the video, and it was doable with this kit, and so it's amazing. I love it. I do recommend getting barge cement and don't use the cheap stuff that I used. That's not on them. So definitely get your own kit from GiveWaveStudios. I think he's adorable. I love it. I'm gonna be using him for Halloween, and I mean, he's so cute. I hope you guys loved this video, and let me know in the comments down below what you think of my floating zero, and if you watch The Nightmare Before Christmas during Halloween time, because it's one of my favorite movies. I watch it every year, and I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!
The worst is just around the bend, and does he know? I'm so sorry! I was so that's the way you said just around the bend, and it got me. There's a biker coming his way. It's dark. You think they're far away enough? And does he notice my feelings for him? And will he see how much he means to me? I think it's not to be. I'm Brooke. I see you and you're just like. Never mind. Something walking this way. Better?
Much better.
Oh my god, there's so many people.
I can't. I have to